Almost 9 years later, and with over 160 million copies sold, Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto V continues to be one of the biggest and most discussed games around. Signs of player interest waning down are nowhere to be found, and there is certainly a lot of excitement regarding the next entry in the franchise. With Rockstar finally confirming that GTA 6, or whatever Rockstar ends up calling it, is in active development, the time seems ripe to finally do a rundown of even more things that we want to see in the game. Please note that this is the third part of this feature series, and we highly recommend checking out part 1 and part 2 as well. The links are in the description of this video. With that out of the way, let's dive in. Open-ended missions. It seems fair to say that many of Rockstar's recent open worlds feel directly at odds with its quest design. While players are free to bend the game's mini-systems to their own will in the open world, they are excessively railroaded into following a strictly defined path for the main missions, failing to stick to which results in a mission-failed screen. With Grand Theft Auto 6, Rockstar should allow for more emergent gameplay opportunities with its story missions, which should be a nice change of pace from its recent titles and improve replayability at a significant margin. Return of strangers and freaks. First introduced in Grand Theft Auto V and then altered for Red Dead Redemption 2, the Strangers and Freaks system is easily one of the best part of Rockstar games. While roaming around the game's open world, players can interact with a ton of eccentric personalities, doling out similarly eccentric tasks. Strangers and Freaks is a great way of incentivizing exploration while adding levity to the game's world without robbing the main narrative of its gravity in any way, shape, or form. Thus, we're hoping for the system to make a return for the next mainline GTA game. Morality system. While Rockstar Games have always put morality to the wayside in favor of player freedom, GTA 6 might just be the perfect opportunity to shake things up in this regard. Much like how the honor system worked in Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar could put an element of consequence to every choice the player makes in GTA 6. This would add an element of weight and intention behind every move the player makes, which in turn would deepen player immersion to a much higher degree than before. Multiple cities. Rockstar's swan song GTA on the PS2 and Xbox, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, still stands as the only game in the series to feature multiple cities, namely Los Santos, San Fierro, and Las Venturas. Back in 2019, a Project Americas rumor of GTA 6 showed off an alleged screenshot of the map, which seemed to indicate that the game might once again feature multiple cities. While the rumor has been debunked, it seems a great idea for GTA 6 to explore nevertheless, particularly given the amount of horsepower Rockstar is working with this generation. Fleshed out multiple protagonists. Grand Theft Auto V took some huge strides with its 3 protagonist mechanics, and while some fans might understandably want the next entry to return to a single protagonist, Rockstar could also use the opportunity to flesh out this system in the next game. For instance, players could use the special abilities of multiple protagonists in tandem with each other for more emergent gameplay opportunities. On the narrative side of things, Rockstar can also flesh out all the protagonists equally well and establish even more meaningful relationships between them, which is a department where GTA 5 missed the mark by a significant margin according to some of its players. Overhaul the crime system. Grand Theft Auto has a fine enough crime system, but it's hopelessly outmatched by the system featured in Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a lot more transparent with its workings. Committing crimes can have long-standing consequences in the form of big bounties. Players can don masks to hide their identities, or even get unscathed with a crime in the odd case there's no witness. Even if there are witnesses, Arthur has the opportunity to dispatch them too before they report to the authorities. While the crime system that Rockstar will implement in GTA 6 doesn't have to be one-to-one copy of Red Dead 2, it can also take some clues from it nevertheless, and perhaps make it even better. A mature storyline. While Grand Theft Auto is synonymous with eccentric personalities, Rockstar certainly has the chops to retain those core tenets in its narrative along with sincere and meaningful storylines. Case in point, Grand Theft Auto 4, which masterfully coalesced the social themes on the then current trends along with a markedly more mature narrative surrounding Nico's quest for revenge. Grand Theft Auto 5 delved much deeper into the eccentricity of it all, so it makes sense for the next entry to step it back up a notch and deliver a much more mature and memorable narrative this time around. Better physics system. Much like narrative tones before, ragdoll physics have been one of the most recognizable parts of GTA's presentation. In addition to providing for some hilarious death animations, these physics can also result in some wildly unrealistic vehicle jumps and other goofs. Given the fact that 9th generation consoles have a lot more powerful CPUs, Rockstar could put those cores to use by implementing a much more sophisticated and lifelike physics system. Complete single-player campaign at launch. Last year, reputable industry insider Tom Henderson suggested that GTA 6 might feature a constantly evolving map. Another less popular rumor was Way Back, which also suggested that GTA 6 might be released episodically in the hopes of avoiding crunch and overtime for its developers. While that's a noble pursuit on its own, we really wish that GTA 6's single-player campaign is available in its entirety at launch. GTA 6 will undoubtedly have its own version of GTA Online, so it might be best to delegate the evolving maps to that portion of the game. Jetpacks. Longtime fans of the franchise will undoubtedly have fond memories of taking to the skies in jetpacks in GTA San Andreas. So when GTA 5 returned to Los Santos once again, legions of fans searched every nook and cranny to find the coveted tool, to sadly no avail. Of course, we don't know where and when GTA 6 would take place, but it'll be the perfect opportunity to address the absence of jetpacks, nevertheless. Post-launch expansions. Fans of Grand Theft Auto's single-player content have been left in the dark for a long time, while Rockstar continues to churn out content for its online offerings. While that's unlikely to change with the next entry, one could surely hope for the best. We certainly want to see substantial single-player focused post-launch expansions which add to the game's base lore. No filler missions. For every high-stakes mission that the GTA franchise has, there are an equal number of missions that can be best described as filler. These missions might just involve driving from point A to point B, only to then drive from that point to point C, with no meaningful gameplay alterations anywhere in between. Two prominent examples of these filler missions in GTA 5 are Trevor's Warehouse and Franklin's Towing Truck level. While these might not stick out as much during the first playthrough, they significantly hamper pacing a lot more in repeated playthroughs. GTA 6 is the perfect opportunity to address this criticism, and we're hoping that Rockstar does the needful in this regard. Campaign co-op. Campaign co-op might just be one of the biggest missed opportunities with regards to GTA 5's 3 protagonist structure. Just imagine how fun it would be for a group of friends to wreak havoc around the city or take on the most adrenaline-pumping heists. If Grand Theft Auto 6 does indeed make a return to multiple protagonists, a co-op mode for the single-player campaign should be one of Rockstar's top priorities for improvements. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.